Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well today. I've definitely given this message before, but I was really thinking about this earlier this morning, and I just want to talk about it. Let's talk about it. In Ephesians 6 verses 12, okay, it says, for our struggle, or the battle, for our battle is not against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of the dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God. Okay, so when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. Okay, I just don't know why more churches aren't talking more about the spiritual battles that we face, because we do face them. Okay, the battle, basically the scripture is saying the battle is not against flesh. This is your flesh. It's not against the flesh. It's against powers of the dark world, principalities, authorities, okay, spiritual forces. So basically the scripture is saying the battle is spiritual, not physical. Okay, and for the life of me, there is people, I'm gonna go off on a tangent, there is people who think that because you can't prove what they're doing, because you don't have physical evidence, that somehow they're not doing it. It doesn't matter. We don't need physical evidence to prove spiritual battles. We don't need physical evidence to prove the things that's done in the spirit. Okay? And so, I was listening to something recently, and this person committed a crime, right? And when he got arrested, he totally denied it, right? Until they showed him the proof, be like, isn't that you? And then he finally admit to it, right? There is some people who literally thinks that they can get away with anything simply because there's no physical proof, simply because it wasn't recorded, it's not on camera. And I'm like, bro, you're not going to get away with it, because it's spiritual. First of all, God sees everything, okay? And then God will let his people know about what's going on, okay? So there doesn't need to be a physical evidence. And just like the saying that says you're innocent until proven guilty, that is the law that people live by. That is the law. That is the law that people live by. They truly believe that they can do whatever crime they want to do, physical, emotional, verbal, any kind of abuse they want to do, and they know that they can remain innocent, or they think they can remain innocent until proven guilty. That's why people will completely deny, if they feel like you can't prove it. And I'm like, we don't need physical evidence. It's done in the spirit. We know. All right. So the battle is not against flesh and blood. Okay. It's against the spirit. And I'm telling you, I tell you to test every spirit. Okay. Test the spirit. Go beyond people's words. Words don't mean anything these days. Okay. Some people's words mean nothing these days. Go beyond their words. Definitely go beyond their actions. Test the spirit, okay? Because when somebody is trying to deceive you, they're going to say all the right things. They're going to do all the right things, okay? And if it doesn't feel right spiritually with you, you might want to just back up a little bit, okay? You might want to back up, because your spirit will be able to sense their spirit. Your spirit sense their spirit. All right? This battle is so spiritual, and the craziest thing is there's people who do so many spiritual stuff and they still don't believe that the battle is spiritual. But I'm like, but you're doing spiritual things, and that's the level of delusion. They think that they're the only one who knows. They're the only one who does it. And I'm like, no, Anyways, so what else did I want to say? Matthew 10 verses 16. It says, I am sending you out like sheep amongst wolves. Therefore be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves. Okay, God sends us amongst wolves. God calls us his sheep, and he calls himself our good shepherd. He calls us sheep, and he calls himself our good shepherd, but he sends us amongst wolves. We live in a very wolf world. We do. We live in a very narcissistic world. I said what I said. I've been saying what I said. We live in a very narcissistic world. We live in a very taker's world. We do not live in a giver's world. Scripture says, give and it shall come back to you. Good measures, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Give and it shall come back to you. The reason why a lot of people is unfulfilled in this time is because they are not givers, they are takers. If you are a taker, you will be unfulfilled, because it's when you give that brings fulfillment. It actually does release something in your brain. What's that? Endorphin, one of those hormones. Okay, not when you take. Given makes you feel fulfilled, not taken. Okay, and we live in a very taker's world. You're gonna find, especially if you're God's chosen remnant, you're going to find people who want to just be in your presence to just extract from you. They give you nothing, but they want to take from you. And that's the level of delusion the delusional world that we live in, where the people who are takers, they really hate to give. They really, and I'm not talking financially, even just emotionally. Okay, people will just take from you emotionally and want to give you nothing in return. Okay, they want to invest. It's like they want to invest very little, but they want to receive this great return. And I'm like, okay, if you don't invest, just don't expect to receive a return. You know what I mean? So we live in a very, very taker's world. You know, we live in a very dangerous, competitive, very manipulative, cunning, and deceptive world. We do, and it's almost like, you know, you didn't realize it as much. Like we watch the news and we see and we hear about the mass shootings and the murders and the homicides. I'm not even really talking about those. Those are big stuff, but I'm just talking about like everyday stuff, everyday people that you come across. You know what I mean? We live in a very deceptive world. I'm telling you, if I didn't believe in the spiritual realm before, I am mortified now. I am mortified. The level of spiritual evil that's around. I am mortified. And it's crazy how like so many people are just walking blind, and you're like, hey, you don't see that. You don't see that. You don't see that. You didn't see that. Did you not see that? And I know we're called for different things, but oh my gosh, I'm like, how do you not see that? How do you not sense that demonic presence? How do you not see that? It's crazy. The battle is not against flesh and blood. There is a whole spiritual realm, and I don't believe a lot of people are talking about this. Anyways, God is saying you're gonna need wisdom on this journey. The wisdom is what's going to help you. Prayer, fasting, reading the word, putting the full armor. You need the whole armor on, because when you go out there, when he sends you amongst wolves, you are going into battle. Basically, you're going into battle. Listen, I encourage you guys to be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves. No blood on your hands, okay? No blood on your hands. But you're going to need to keep, not just put it on, but keep it on. Okay, sleep in that thing. Sleep in the full armor of God, because we live in a world there. Okay, and I'm not saying like there's not beautiful stuff that's left in our world. I do believe that the world is still very beautiful, you know, but it's also very evil. Okay, and I'm not going to deny that there is not a lot of evil in our world. Anyways, I hope this message was informative for you guys. I hope you're able to just digest it, you know, in any kind of way. And don't let it just go through one ears and out the other. Take it and hold on to it. All right, guys, and put it into practice. All right. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Take care.